Hello again, metalheads. It's the weekend and time for some detecting. All it takes with this hobby is one lucky signal. Is this weekend going to be mine? Let's see what comes up. Catch you shortly. And so, metalheads, we're off and running. Our first find, a little button. It's done a row on my block I'm working on. I think it averages out one find per row and probably 15 to 20 snots. But that's the nature of it. Let's press on. Nothing much to report here, I'm afraid. Second button of the morning. Quite a thick, chunky thing. No design on it. Another one for the tin. A little bit of patience has rewarded me with my first coin of the day. Spot on noon it is. And it's a modern 10p piece. Let's carry on. Here we go again. Another decimal, 5p this time. Be able to buy myself a bag of crisps if I carry on at this rate. This is not what I really want to be finding. Let's hope for something older. Off to quite a good start this morning. We've got a second coin up already. 50p, but an Irish Republic of Ireland coin, 1996. Harp of Ireland on that side. And a quick wipe. Sure, I remember from living over there, it's some kind of seabird perhaps on that side. No monarchs in Ireland, but it's their republic. Cool. Now, believe it or not, that's a find. As well as keeping your ears open while you're detecting, keep your eyes to the ground. Might not look like much, but that's a bit of oyster shell. And oysters were the fish and chips of the Roman world. So maybe it's another pointer in the right direction. Maybe my hunch ain't so far off. So I've been down to where I think my imaginary ridgeline is. Worked my way back up the row. Hit another coin. Almost back to my ploughshare where I first started, and it's another decimal penny. It's going very slow but steady. Little D buckle this time. I'm really not very good at aging buckles, but I don't think very old at all. Still, the stuff here still. Coin on the surface sticking out of the ground there. It's amazing how this happens. Nothing too special, I don't think. I'm reckoning a decimal 2p piece. There we go. Queen Elizabeth II. It's got to be a 2p. There you go, fleur de lis. Another coin, but not the ones we're after, are they? Yes, metalheads, a couple of reasonably interesting finds. Eyes only on the top of the field is my second piece of oyster shell on this field. Now, in my mind, that's significant of Romans eating oysters. And my most interesting metallic find so far, a little pyramid headed stud. Now could that be an early type button with a hole through the shaft on the back of it to make that a shank? I know that some medieval and Tudor style buttons are this type of shape. Really don't know on that. But my hope in this field is still alive. So metalheads, once again I got bored with gridding. Not a lot coming up, so I decided to go free ranging. Just come out of the plot that I'm working on and turned up a military button. Not in the greatest condition. I think it has OL16 on it with a crown above that. Something to look into when I get home. Cool. Now we've got even more of the cutlery set. Spoon handle, I think, maybe a fork. No real age to it. Disappointing, but a good signal. Here he is, our friend Barney. I think he's had enough. We've been out for 3 hours or so now. We're not having much joy today. Top end of the field's been quiet for decent finds. It's been probably 3/4 of an hour since I dug a button, and now I've dug another button. Right, we might start heading back down towards the car, nip home and have some lunch, and perhaps resume the session tomorrow. Come back feeling fresh on it. Well, I really do think it's time to knock it on the head today. Cog out of a clock. Maybe it's a part of the inner to that really ornate clock face I found over the other side of the field. Yeah, time to knock it on the head. So the idea of going free ranging didn't work. I've headed back to where I've been gridding, doing one final line as I head back down to our bags, Barney's bowls. Hit another coin, but it's decimal again. Not happening. And so metalheads, it's now Sunday and our second hunt of the weekend. It's rained overnight, still drizzling a bit now. The field's a bit claggy underfoot, but we'll make a good go of it. Tractor's appeared down at the bottom. He's going to be seeding this imminently, so let's rescue what we can out of here. No more yap, plenty to do. See you on the first. So here's our first decent target out of the ground of the morning. The old style round pound. This is one of the Welsh versions with the dragon on the back. Can't even spend it. What's the word for it? Decirculated? Yes, that's the one. Okay, in the pouch, on we go. And so here's our second coin of the morning. Honestly, don't know what it can be. Might be a decimal 5 pence. It could possibly be a Cupro nickel Queen Elizabeth II 6pence maybe. No, struggling on that one. Not enough detail to work it out, but it's modern, it's not old. Now then, that is a lot more like it. We've got a little tiny, in comparison to my hands, let me pick it up, little tiny medieval spectacle buckle, and it's still got its pin on there attached. Now, considering that modern decimal coins are getting folded by the plough in this field. How on earth that little delicate pin has survived intact on that buckle, I don't know. So far, this and that late medieval button, they're my two best finds. Yes, I like that a lot. Well, something slightly different this time. Reasonably modern though. Bullet tip. Still dull and boring. Got a piece of lead this time. A loom weight or a net weight. Really hard to age lead items, so I shan't even bother. Right, metalheads, we're rounded up for the afternoon. There's not much going on here. Perhaps make this my last target. Looks quite reasonable though. Piece of lead, point on the end. My thoughts, it's a lead stylus for writing on wax tablets. That'll do. I'm heading back down the car. Well, it all seems to be happening right at the end of the afternoon. That looks pretty much like a spur to me. Yeah, I can go home happy. I found a couple of decent artefacts over the weekend. Yeah, why not? Okay, metalheads, we're now back home. Barney's laying conked out. He's worn himself out, but little does he know, he's going in the bath. His paws are all covered in mud and he pongs. So let's have a look at these few bits and pieces we've unearthed this weekend. We've got a part of a clock, a bullet, a spoon handle, a buckle and a little tiny ring. We've got a few buttons. Two of them are military, that one very worn, but I think it's a general service issue button. This one's slightly more detail. It's QL16, so that's the 16th Regiment of the Queen's Lancers. Quite cool. We've got a few decimal coins. The Welsh pound in reasonable condition. A couple of foreign coins. This one's barely legible, but under the magnifier I can see it's from Malta. And then we've got the Irish 50p piece. And slightly better, I think, we've got a part of a spur. We've got a lead loom weight or a net weight, and quite probably a lead stylus. We're now up to 2 pieces of oyster shell off the surface in that field, and that really is shouting out to me Roman activity. They loved the old oysters. And that brings us down to this last little 2 at the bottom. Definitely the prize finds of the weekend. A little tiny spectacle buckle, still with its pin attached to it. Do like a spectacle buckle. And this tiny little button pyramid head, and you can just make out there's a trefoil design on the 4 faces. And that is most definitely late medieval, moving into the Tudor period. So although I've not had any coins from that era, there's artifacts there. Excellent. So, it's back to work next week. Whether I get back on that snot field again with the tractor poised to go into planting action, I don't know. Okay, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and I'll see you on the next adventure.